All right, this is pretty cool. I love when we get these things because I think it's fun to talk about. In season we got a ton to talk about, but when they release schedule stuff and they start messing with rivalries, I'm very interested to hear from the fans. I think the fans are going to have a lot of comments on this, but the SEC releases their schedule for the next several years, the annual rivalries. And so I think we're going to get fun out of this because 3 annual opponents you're going to play for the next 4 years. I love that they did it for the next 4 years. Let's take a snapshot where we're at after a couple of years and not go crazy where we have to make this a permanent thing. Because we all want to see the crossover matchups and we all want to see certain rivalries that we're not going to get, and it's just a part of the game. So let's go to Alabama. Alabama's yearly opponents for the next 4 years. Auburn, Iron Bowl obviously is huge every year. That's a non-negotiable. I feel like if that was off, we'd all go absolutely nuts, crazy. Tennessee, third Saturday in November, obviously usually a pretty big deal. Mississippi State, don't know. I think that's why you have the variance. Arkansas has Missouri, Texas, and LSU. That's not fun to be Arkansas. Geographically, though, I get how that would all work together. Auburn, Georgia, Alabama, and Vanderbilt. So obviously they're going to get the Georgia game every year is something that we've seen for a long time. That's really, really awesome. I think you want to continue to see that rivalry. And then the Iron Bowl, we already talked about not going away. And then you throw Vanderbilt in there. So that's a good one for Auburn. Interesting. 2 tough opponents every year. Georgia and Alabama are always going to be good. So tough schedule. Florida gets Georgia, South Carolina, and Kentucky. So it's not horrible. If I'm Florida, I want the cocktail party. That's not going away. Neutral site, one of the coolest things in college football. You're going to get that with Texas and Oklahoma, obviously, as well down the road. But if I'm Florida, I'm not upset with that. It could be a heck of a lot worse. Interested, I don't see Florida LSU. Used to seeing Florida LSU. Love Florida LSU. That was a staple back in the day that we always saw, wanted to see, was so good. But that one's obviously, it's gone. So Georgia's got Auburn, Florida, and South Carolina. Now, if you don't know, this is the kind of the cool part, I think, to why you do this and how you do this. South Carolina, for the longest time, being in the SEC East on the schedule, it was a fun game to watch. It was a competitive game, rivalry game. The South Carolina's the last team to beat Georgia at home, and they always played, Georgia really, really well. So when the expansion has happened, that's gone away. There are a lot of people that wanted to see that matchup. Well, you got it back, so that's pretty cool. Kentucky gets South Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. So that's not bad either. If you're Kentucky, you're getting South Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida, who's, you're used to playing. The Kentucky-Florida rivalry in football has been pretty good. It's been very one-sided, but then Kentucky's had some success, kept some games close lately. So let's go LSU. Arkansas, which you got to get that game every single year. I agree with that. Ole Miss and A&M. That's kind of that's strange to me. I don't know. I mean, I think of LSU Florida. I think of LSU Alabama. Like those are two that I think of. That one of those two I feel like we should see. But Arkansas obviously, and it's a good rivalry game that you see every year. Ole Miss, A&M. Those are the other two opponents. LSU and Ole Miss is good too every single year, so that's not bad. Mississippi State. You got Ole Miss, got to have the Egg Bowl, non-negotiable. Nobody's taking that out. Not going to happen. I'm sorry, Mississippi State. So they got the Egg Bowl, they got Alabama, and they got Vanderbilt. I don't know, where the other ones come across, and if you're digging that, and if that's something that's gonna light your fire. Missouri, Arkansas, A&M, and Oklahoma. So, you got Arkansas right there with you. You got A&M, you got Oklahoma. Missouri fans, you got some of the old school rivalries back to the Big 12, which is pretty cool. Oklahoma, got to have Texas, got Ole Miss, got Missouri. So the Texas is non-negotiable for Oklahoma, and then I think it's where you fall on the other ones, but it's fine. I mean, there's nothing I see there that's insane. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, Oklahoma. So Egg Bowl continued. LSU right there in proximity. Oklahoma. I mean, that's LSU and Oklahoma, obviously 2 tough opponents. Egg Bowl always tough because of the way it is. So it makes sense for Ole Miss. South Carolina, yes, please. Georgia, Kentucky, Florida. I mean, I think that Everybody who's seen those games for years, again, SEC East opponents back in the day have seen those matchups. Tennessee, Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. If I'm Tennessee, I keep the third Saturday in November, which is absolutely outstanding. I got Vanderbilt and Kentucky on my schedule. You've got to be excited about that. Now, is there better games that you want to see? Georgia, Tennessee. Like, who doesn't want to see Georgia, Tennessee? I feel like that would be one you want to see. But with all the teams and all the crossovers, man, you got to give something away, and these are some of the things that you give away. But so far with me, I will recap afterwards, but that's one that I would like to see for sure. Texas A&M, non-negotiable at all. Got to have that game. Proximity to Arkansas, got to have Oklahoma. So I think that's, again, proximity is a lot of the reasons why some of this stuff has happened, and you can tell. Texas A&M, so right after each other, Texas, LSU, Missouri. Obviously, you got the Big 12 connections with both of those tied together. Vanderbilt's got Tennessee, Mississippi State, and Auburn. Auburn's kind of turning into a little bit of a rivalry with Vanderbilt after Vandy won, last year. But, it's only for 4 years. So these are the common opponents you're going to continue to have. Number one things left off for me, LSU, Bama, crazy. Georgia, Tennessee, crazy. LSU, Florida, crazy. Like those are three that I would say I want to see. I used to say back in the day when the conference was smaller, I wanted everybody to go to every stadium and everybody come to every stadium. It's not possible now, but I think one common thread is you can see the geographically, you wanted to keep that together. SEC East, SEC West, Big 12, former Big 12 opponents, all those kind of connected, together. But I am going to be fascinated by watching you guys, in the chat, in the comments, just what do they screw up the most? What do they miss? As a fan, as a diehard fan that goes to these games, man, and loves their team, what game are you going to be so upset that it's not there? You can drop those in there in the comments, and we will continue to see you guys throughout the week here on See Ball, Get Ball.